As the colossal starship descended through the tumultuous clouds of Earth's atmosphere, the ground below trembled with the anticipation of the unknown. The vessel, an engineering marvel spanning several city blocks, glinted with the eerie glow of otherworldly metals and pulsating lights. On board, Her Majesty Queen Nisara of the Zari Dominion prepared to set foot on this quaint, unassuming world, known to its inhabitants simply as Earth. In the deepest chamber of the starship, draped in shadows and the hum of alien technologies, Queen Nisara surveyed her ornate reflection in a crystalline mirror. Her exoskeleton shimmered with an ethereal iridescence, each movement creating ripples of light across her angular face. Today, she would meet the Earthling chosen for the sacred union, a tradition that bound the Zari with other species across galaxies, ensuring peace and mutual prosperity. "Prepare the bridal chambers," Nisara commanded in a voice that resonated like a symphony of wind chimes. Her attendants, creatures of elegance and efficiency, scurried to obey, their forms a blur of motion. The chambers, a masterpiece of Zari aesthetics, combined the stark grandeur of their architecture with elements borrowed from Earth's diverse cultures. Meanwhile, in a modest observatory nestled in the mountains, Dr. Eliana Reyes adjusted her telescope, unaware that her life was about to intersect with cosmic destinies. Eliana, a brilliant astrophysicist, had spent countless nights gazing at the stars, dreaming of discoveries yet to come. Tonight, however, the stars themselves seemed to pulse with an urgent, almost sentient glow. As the starship landed with a graceful yet imposing presence, government officials and a specially appointed diplomatic corps gathered at the designated site. Tensions ran high. Humanity was about to engage in its first official interaction with a species from beyond their solar system. Queen Nisara stepped out of her ship, her height and regality surpassing even the tallest of the human delegates. Her eyes, multifaceted and gleaming, scanned the assembly before her. Each human heartbeat, each whispered word, resonated within her, a symphony of nervous excitement and fear. Eliana, invited for her expertise and curiosity, stood among the delegates, her heart racing as she laid eyes on the alien monarch. There was something mesmerizing about Nisara, something beyond her alien beauty and commanding presence. It was as if she embodied the vast, mysterious universe they all yearned to understand. "Welcome to Earth, Your Majesty," the head of the diplomatic corps said, stepping forward with a bow. "We hope your stay here will mark the beginning of a fruitful alliance between our worlds." Nisara inclined her head, her voice a melodic whisper that seemed to resonate directly in their minds. "Thank you, esteemed representatives of Earth. I come in peace and with the hope of unity. But let us not dally with formalities. I am eager to meet the one chosen for the union." Confusion flickered across the faces of the human delegates. No prior communication had mentioned a union. Whispers erupted among the crowd as the diplomatic leader faltered, his prepared speech useless against the unfolding events. Eliana's pulse quickened as she realized the magnitude of what was being proposed. A union with an Earthling. Her scientific mind raced with questions about the implications of such a bond. What did this mean for humanity? What did this mean for her? As if drawn by an unseen force, Queen Nisara's gaze fell upon Eliana. A slow, knowing smile crept across the queen's lips, and with each step she took towards Eliana, the earth beneath their feet seemed to sing. The night air was electric, charged with the potential of new beginnings and the undeniable fact that nothing on Earth would ever be the same again. The Zari queen stood before Eliana, her presence imposing yet strangely magnetic. Around them, the cluster of Earth's representatives shuffled uncomfortably, the weight of the unexpected proposition bearing down upon them. Eliana, caught in the gaze of those multifaceted eyes, found herself strangely calm, as if the gravity of the entire universe had aligned to this singular moment. Nisara spoke again, her voice enveloping Eliana in a cocoon of sound that seemed to exclude all others. "You are the one, Eliana Reyes. Your intellect and spirit resonate with the vibrations of the cosmos in a manner that is harmonious with our own. Will you join with me to bridge our worlds and foster a new era of understanding and peace?" Eliana, still processing the surreal nature of the situation, hesitated. The offer, immense and overwhelming, was not just a personal commitment, but a monumental step for all of humanity. Her scientific mind raced with the implications of such a union, not only diplomatic or cultural, but biological and technological. The potential for shared knowledge was boundless, yet so were the risks of unforeseen consequences. "I need to understand more," Eliana managed to say, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. "What does this union entail, and why me?" Nisara nodded, a gesture of respect. "Your questions are valid and deserve transparency. This union, as practiced by the Zalari, involves a sharing of essence and knowledge. It is more than a mere alliance. It is a profound connection that enhances understanding and cooperation at a fundamental level. As for you, it is not merely your achievements in astrophysics, but your innate ability to perceive beyond the seen, to question and to wonder. That is what we value." As they spoke, the Zalari attendants had been busy constructing what appeared to be a complex holographic display. It flickered to life, showing images of other worlds, other unions, where Zalari had melded their lives and cultures with different species. The effects were transformative, showing planets once ravaged by war and strife now thriving in peace and innovation. Eliana watched, fascinated and apprehensive. The science was beyond anything Earth had achieved, but the potential was clear. Turning back to Nisara, she found the Queen's gaze unwavering. "And what of the risks?" Eliana asked. "The risks are not insubstantial," Nisara conceded. "The process is irreversible, and adjustments to each other's biological and cultural makeup are profound. But we have refined this process over millennia. You will not lose yourself. You will become more than you were." The representatives murmured among themselves, the potential political ramifications and the ethical considerations swirling in hushed tones. Eliana felt their eyes on her, felt the weight of their expectations and fears. "I will need to discuss this with my peers, with the leaders of Earth," Eliana said, finally breaking the intense connection with Nisara. "This is not a decision I can make alone." Nisara stepped back, giving Eliana space. "Of course. We respect the processes of your world. We will provide all the information you require and await your decision. Remember, Eliana Reyes, this is not merely a union of two beings, but a beacon for your people and mine to follow toward a brighter future." With that, Nisara retreated to her ship, the air thick with the electric charge of her departure. Eliana turned to face the crowd, her mind a whirl of thoughts and emotions. The path ahead was fraught with complexity, but the lure of the unknown called to her spirit, a siren song of the stars she had always longed to decipher. As the crowd dispersed, the discussions began, and Eliana knew that the decision she would make could alter the trajectory of human history forever. The discussions that followed were intense and far-reaching. Government officials, scientists, ethicists, and leaders from around the globe convened in urgent sessions, debating the implications of Eliana's potential union with Queen Nisara. Meanwhile, Eliana herself was granted access to a Zalari liaison officer, Soran, who provided deeper insights into the scientific and cultural aspects of the Zalari people. In a secure facility, Soran demonstrated the advanced Zalari technology, explaining their method of essence sharing, which involved a sophisticated intermingling of neural pathways and consciousness. Eliana, her mind always hungry for knowledge, absorbed the information with a mix of awe and caution. The technology was not just advanced, it was revolutionary, capable of altering the very fabric of human understanding. As she learned more, Eliana found herself grappling with the dual aspects of her identity. The scientist, intrigued and excited by the potential for discovery, and the individual, wary of the personal cost of such a deep integration with an alien being. Each session with Soran left her more conflicted than the last. One evening, after a particularly rigorous briefing, Eliana took a walk in the gardens outside the facility, trying to clear her mind. The flowers under the moonlight seemed to mirror the stars above, distant, beautiful, mysterious. It was here that she encountered Dr. Haruto Nguyen, a colleague and friend from her university days. "Hard decisions ahead, huh?" Haruto remarked, joining her on the garden bench. He had been part of the scientific advisory group consulting on the union. Yes, Eliana replied, her voice tinged with fatigue. It's one thing to study the stars, to dream of what's out there. It's another to become so intimately connected with it. Haruto nodded, understanding her turmoil. It's not just a leap for you, but for all of us. Have you decided? Eliana shook her head. Every time I think I have, another question arises. The risks, the benefits. It's all so overwhelming. The way I see it, Haruto said, this could be the biggest leap in human understanding since the discovery of the atom. Or it could be the most complex challenge we've ever faced. Eliana sighed, looking back at the sky. And what if I lose myself in this union? What if I become more Zari than human? That's the risk, Haruto agreed. But knowing you, Eliana, you'll hold on to who you are. You always have. Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent call from the facility. The Zari ship had signaled a meeting, an unexpected development. Soran explained that Queen Nisara requested Eliana's presence aboard the starship. As Eliana prepared to board the Zari vessel, her heart was a tumult of emotions. She was escorted through the corridors of the ship, each turn revealing more of the Zari's extraordinary technology and artistry, until she finally reached the Queen's chamber. Nisara awaited, her presence as imposing as ever. Eliana Reyes, your deliberations weigh heavily upon you. Yet I sense a readiness in your spirit to transcend the boundaries known to your people. Eliana took a deep breath, her decision crystallizing in the silence that followed. Your Majesty, I am ready to proceed with the union, but I do so with a condition, that this partnership, this blending of our beings serves as a bridge, not just between two individuals, but between our entire species. Nisara's eyes glinted with a spark of respect. Agreed, Eliana Reyes. Let us begin this new era together, with openness and hope for our combined future. As the preparations for the union commenced, Eliana felt a resolve settling in her. This was not just her path, but a path for humanity to step closer to the stars, with all the dangers and wonders that lay beyond. In the heart of the Zari starship, the chamber designed for the Union was a symphony of technology and alien aesthetics, every surface crafted to not only facilitate the integration, but to honor it as a sacred convergence. As Eliana stepped inside, the air vibrated with a low harmonic frequency, the sound almost palpable, caressing the skin with invisible waves. Queen Nisara stood beside a structure that resembled both an altar and a scientific instrument, an embodiment of the Zari blending of spirituality and science. The Queen's attendants moved with quiet efficiency, preparing the intricate array of devices and interfaces that would facilitate the union. Once we begin, the process will link our essences at the quantum level, Nisara explained, her voice both soothing and solemn. Your consciousness will expand, embracing aspects of ours, as mine will adapt to include facets of your human perspective. Eliana nodded, her resolve firm, yet her stomach fluttering with a mix of anticipation and apprehension. She had undergone thorough medical and psychological preparations, but the true extent of the transformation was unknown territory, a leap into a cosmic melding of minds and souls. The process started with the gentle placement of biometric connectors along Eliana's temples and wrists, interfacing seamlessly with her nervous system. Nisara underwent a similar preparation, though the technology adapted to her alien physiology sparkled with a strange, otherworldly light. As the union initiated, Eliana felt a rush of sensations, as if diving into a deep, vibrant sea of consciousness. Images, emotions, and thoughts flooded through her, not just her own but Nisara's, alien memories of distant worlds, the weight of a queen's responsibilities, and the profound loneliness of a ruler bound by duty. Simultaneously, Nisara experienced the rush of human emotions through Eliana, fear, hope, love, and the boundless curiosity that defined her species. The integration was more than sharing thoughts. It was a fusion of experiences, a dance of two souls learning the rhythm of each other's existences. As the minutes stretched into hours, the boundaries between them blurred. Eliana could feel her own self expanding, her awareness extending into realms of thought and sensation she had never imagined. She perceived the universe through Zari senses, saw the interconnectedness of all life in a way that was fundamentally alien to her previous human understanding. The process completed with a soft chime, the sound clear and resonant in the now silent chamber. Eliana and Nisara slowly disengaged from the apparatus, their eyes meeting with a new depth of understanding. "How do you feel?" Nisara asked, her concern palpable. Eliana took a moment to sort through the cascade of new perceptions. "Overwhelmed, but enlightened. There's so much more to everything than I ever realized." "And you are still Eliana Reyes?" Nisara's question held layers of meaning, probing for any loss of Eliana's core self. "Yes, I am," Eliana confirmed, a smile breaking through as she felt the core of who she was intact, her identity enriched rather than replaced. "And more. I am us now." The implications of their union would take time to fully understand, but as they stepped out of the chamber, the crew, both human and Zari, greeted them with an awe usually reserved for the most profound of discoveries. News of the successful union spread quickly, igniting debates and discussions across worlds about the future of interstellar relations. Eliana, now a bridge between humanity and the Zari, became not just a scientist, but a symbol of potential harmony between vastly different beings. As she adapted to her new existence, the responsibilities were immense, but so were the opportunities to explore, to learn, and to guide her people into a new era of cosmic community. The impact of Eliana's union with Nisara began to resonate beyond the confines of their immediate environments, influencing political and scientific communities across both species. On Earth, leaders and citizens alike wrestled with the implications of their new relationship with the Zari. Meanwhile, aboard the Zari starship, the combined crew of humans and aliens navigated their daily tasks under the new paradigm of interspecies cooperation. Eliana found herself at the forefront of this new era, her unique position allowing her to mediate misunderstandings and facilitate the integration of ideas and technologies. Her days were filled with meetings, research collaborations, and public addresses, each moment leveraging her expanded consciousness to foster unity. One day, while reviewing data from a joint scientific venture studying quantum flux dynamics, a field that blended human quantum physics with Zari spatial theories, Eliana stumbled upon an anomaly. The data suggested fluctuations that didn't fit any known models from either species. Curious and intrigued, she convened a team of both Zari and human scientists to delve deeper. The team worked in a laboratory specially designed to accommodate the diverse physiological needs of both species. The lab was a hive of activity, with instruments and screens displaying a fusion of Earth and Zari technologies. As they analyzed the data, a pattern began to emerge, hinting at a phenomenon neither civilization had encountered before. "It seems like we're looking at a form of energy that behaves differently from anything we've documented," remarked Dr. Luca Mbandi, one of Eliana's human colleagues. His eyes were wide with the thrill of discovery, a sentiment echoed by their Zari counterparts. "This could be a new form of interstellar energy, potentially usable as a power source, or it might even have implications for space-time travel," Eliana suggested, her mind racing with possibilities. As they prepared to publish their findings, the news of this potential discovery leaked to the media, causing a stir among populations on Earth and Zari worlds. Debates flared about the control and use of such a powerful new resource, and Eliana found herself once again in a delicate position, needing to ensure that this discovery would benefit both species equally. Meanwhile, away from the scientific excitement, Eliana's personal adjustments to her new dual consciousness continued. She often experienced moments where her human perspective clashed subtly with her Zari insights, creating a fascinating but challenging inner dialogue. To better understand these experiences, she started documenting her thoughts and feelings, intending to share these insights with others who might go through similar unions in the future. One evening, during a rare moment of solitude on the observation deck of the starship, Eliana looked out at the stars. The view was spectacular, a vast canvas of darkness sprinkled with the light of distant suns. She felt a profound connection to the cosmos, a sensation that was now amplified by her Zari senses. Her reflections were interrupted by Soran, who had been her guide into the Zari world and had become a close friend. "Your thoughts seem particularly intense tonight," he noted, joining her by the large viewing window. Eliana smiled, appreciating his presence. "I was just thinking about our place in the universe, this union, our work. It's reshaping how I see everything." "It's reshaping how both our species see everything," Soran agreed. "The potential is enormous, but so are the challenges." "Yes, and I hope we're up to them," Eliana replied, her gaze returning to the stars. "We've opened a door to something incredible, Soran. Now we must ensure it leads to a future where both our people can thrive." Together, they watched the stars, the silence between them filled with shared understanding and a mutual commitment to the path they had chosen. As they turned back to their duties, the weight of their responsibilities was tempered by the knowledge that they were not just shaping their own destinies, but potentially the future of interstellar relations. Amid the whirlwind of scientific breakthroughs and interstellar diplomacy, Eliana's role as a liaison and symbol of unity between humans and Zari had never been more critical. The discovery of the new form of energy had escalated from a scientific curiosity to a central issue in human-Zari relations, as debates over its implications intensified. In the following weeks, a summit was convened on a neutral space station orbiting a dormant star, attended by leaders and representatives from both species. The purpose was clear: to establish a framework for the shared exploration and utilization of the newly discovered energy source. Eliana and Nisara, both pivotal in these discussions, prepared their positions with a focus on equity and mutual benefit. The summit's conference room was a sphere of transparent material, offering a panoramic view of the cosmos. Here, Eliana stood beside Queen Nisara, addressing the gathered assembly. Her voice, now subtly threaded with Zari inflections, carried both authority and a plea for harmony. "As we stand on the brink of this new era, let us not be guided by fear or greed, but by the promise of what we can achieve together," Eliana articulated, her words echoing around the room. "This energy, vast and untapped, does not belong to one species, but to all who can reach it, and must be shared with wisdom and foresight." Her speech was met with nods and murmurs of agreement, but also pockets of resistance. Some factions, both human and Zari, argued for more controlled access, driven by concerns over security and the potential for misuse. Negotiations stretched over days, with Eliana and Nisara working tirelessly, mediating discussions and smoothing over conflicts. Finally, a treaty was drafted, one that proposed joint control of the energy source, with equal access to its benefits and strict regulations to prevent its exploitation. As the final session of the summit approached, Eliana felt the weight of the moment. She stood by the large windows, watching a distant nebula bloom in slow motion, its colors a silent testament to the beauty of the universe they all shared. Nisara joined her, her gaze also fixed on the stellar vista. "You have done well, Eliana. Whatever the outcome, know that your vision has brought us further than we dared hope." Eliana smiled, appreciating the Queen's support. "It's been our vision, Nisara. None of this would have been possible without our union, without the understanding it brought." As they returned to the conference room, the treaty was put to a final vote. The result was overwhelmingly in favor, a testament to the hard work and diplomatic efforts of many. Applause filled the room, not just for the treaty itself, but for what it represented: a successful collaboration between worlds once separated by vast, cold space. In the aftermath of the summit, Eliana returned to the starship, her spirits lifted, but her mind busy with the next steps. The implementation of the treaty would be her focus now, ensuring that the agreements made were honored and that the joint research initiatives proceeded smoothly. Her journey back to Earth was quiet, a time for reflection. She gazed out at the stars, now not just points of light but places of potential new meetings, new understandings. She had transcended her human limits to embrace something greater, not losing herself, but becoming part of a larger, more complex community. As the starship approached Earth, Eliana prepared for her return, eager to share her experiences and insights. The future was uncertain, filled with challenges and opportunities, but she was ready. With each step, She was helping to forge a path toward a future where humans and Zari could thrive together, exploring the stars as equals, united by a shared vision and a boundless curiosity about the universe.